very effective, apparently. Many of them, the gathered gnomes, seems to be very scared indeed, and grim-faced and quite bloodthirsty-looking drow militia stand around. Their weapons sheathed for now, but certainly ready to attack at a moment's notice. And this corralled mass of people now stands before you. The sergeant, has basically led you here, and he then salutes and then looks over to the gathered gnomes and basically gives them a glare. You can't really see it, but you imagine it is quite murderous as he walks to the side and stands attention.
Rilinid will, sort of like walk out and, thinks about, instructing in Gnomish, but really he wants everyone to hear and understand how deep and heartfelt this is going to be.
Gathered ones of Faster Vault, hear me. As some of you very well know, no bloodshed had to be spilled this day. For we, dark elves who sought to eliminate prejudice and ease racial tensions and establish an embassy and help to protect against the Duragar and their hated surface brethren. We arrived here hoping to establish something meaningful, and what we found were raised arms, barricades, the bent ear of a foolish lord? We did not mean for such carnage and destruction. And some of you very well know that. Rumors, whispers gathered around. There were those of you were on the ramparts, the wall you saw. Whenever I spoke, beseeching, pleading for Lord Gurney or just anyone to abandon madness for reason. A dwarf so consumed in his vile, wretched hatred shot a bow, and even then I let the bolt pass. I offered another chance. And all the dwarves did was swarm that wall, sneering behind their putrid promises of justice and honor. Well, where was that justice and honor for us? Where was it for you? They brought lies. They sought to use you, for we all know how dwarves are, consumed by their greed. Their desires to restore an empire that would see us all in ashes and ruin, such as what happened here. Now, we came in the hopes of creating peace, a patrol to protect the highway that feeds into Faster Vault. It feeds into the Upper Azathyr. We sought to protect against the Duragar. We had not known that such treachery had spread even into your hearts. With a flourish of a gesture to Lord Gurney, and in large part, it is the fault of your lord, who was so foolish and stupid and incompetent that he allowed such evils to endure within your halls. Now we of House Vytharia are most magnanimous and forgiving. We understand that such bloodshed has worn you down, and you have fears and you have doubts. Many of your kin and your loved ones are dead by the hands of the dwarves and by the hands of your lords, and some of you might hold us, your benefactors, responsible. Know that we will be here from now until forever to ensure that Faster Vault is safe from any approach, from any hostilities. We will protect the Upper Azathyr, while the dwarves would have abandoned you. Of course, again, you might have your doubts. How can you trust the deep elves? I can hear the whispers in your thoughts, even if you are too afraid to voice them.
The gathered populace does indeed seem to have some apprehensions. They, mumble and shuffle about, and quite a few, hostile glances over at Lord Gurney. Not only at you, and there seems to be, yes,
But if we intended evil, if we had intended wholesale slaughter, would I have tried so hard in the face of overwhelming hostility and evil to bring peace, a sense of reason? Would any sane person who did not care for peace get shot at violently and repeatedly? As I stood at the front of that wall, isolated, bare for all to attack. I know my words are true because my actions make them so, and so should you all believe. Sweeping hand.
Again, there seems to be a bit of a shuffle and mumble. You do notice a few gnomes nodding, like whispering something to others, and still apprehensions, but at least you elicit something you would identify as acknowledgement.
And of course, as you've seen, all those who did not resist, did not join the dwarves, or their foolish, incompetent lord who could not see the truth behind his own blind greed for candy and sweets.
More candy.
That's right. Those of you who laid down your arms, of course, you have all been spared. And for decades and centuries to come, you and your children will be allowed to live within Faustivold in peace, tending to your craft and doing your work that I know you love to do. And although this will be a horrid event, in time, as all wounds do, it will scab over, but the healing must begin with the most brutal force possible. Another sort of like a venomous, like, head turn, like a jerk towards Lord Gurney. He who ignored you all, who ignored your fears and concerns, who was so confused, as some of you who were on the walls knew. He had the chance, and he ran away like a coward, afraid to make a decision, to at least establish some sort of common sense or reason. He fled back to his hall. He refused to have any responsibility, and that failure is not something that could ever be tolerated. He abandoned you all for the sanctity of his halls. He had to run away. Certainly not a worthwhile ruler, not one fit for any hall, much less this one.
Again, mumble, and you hear some rumblings that seem to be in the affirmative, at least from some of the gnomes, and
The dwarves, they will suffer their own fate. Their leader will be ours for a long time, and he will be made to reveal his wretched dwarven secrets before he is laid to rest. As for the others, a gesture towards the spires and the skisral who are at work, they are being set forth as a demonstration that our animosity and hatred is not towards Yusvif Neblin, but towards those consumed by greed and xenophobia.
Of course, the fact, he's immensely racial itself.
no, of course.
Right. And indeed, we will allow you all to go on about your days and lives, and bury your dead, but first, you must give something to us.
And with that, sort of like a flick and brandishing a dagger, so like hilt first, extended to the crowd.
Lord Gurney has taken so much from you, taken your homes, your families, your livelihood, all because he was swayed by the honeyed words of greed and gold and sweets by the dwarves. Would one of you, consumed with the hope of making him get his own just reward, step forth and, in the hopes of being able to bury all of your family and friends and loved ones, plunge this dagger into your failed lord's breast?
There is a shocked silence at these words, and many of the gnomes, look at each other, and you can hear again sort of disquiet and rumbling going over the assembled gnomes. They look quite angrily at Lord Gurney after this, and however, they don't immediately produce a someone willing to do the deed, but there is a lot of whispering and shuffling about going on in the crowd.
That's right. Of course, he'll stand there, pause, and then switch to gnomish and say,
"Of course, if all of you think that Lord Gurney should live after he abandoned the walls for the safety of his halls, and that dwarves determine the true fate of all of you, then by all means, don't accept this."
At this, one of the gathered crowd sort of elbows his way forward, and he shouts in Gnomish, I will do this! I saw him run! He is a coward, he is incompetent, and he sought to bring doom upon us all, with his foolishness. I will do this! He sort of steps forward, sort of shaking almost, and he steps close to Rilinid, grabs the dagger, and then with tears streaming down his eyes and a shriek, he plunges the dagger into Lord Gurney, who gurgles and blood wells forth everywhere. It goes like his death rattle hits the crowd like a whip, and you see many recoil and shouts of rage, outrage, and it erupts into a cacophony, and the gnome who did it basically collapses, fainting at Rilinid's feet at this, dropping the dagger.
Rilinid will look at the Zvirfneblin who fell, and he'll smile behind the mask and wave toward the crowd. Go, switching into Undercommon.
"Let it be known that this Zvirfneblin shall henceforth keep his dagger that was given to him as a symbol of your acceptance and realization of what has been done and what you acknowledge to be true. I, of course, hope to get his name later. Let him be recognized and known for his actions on behalf of you all. Now, I do believe that I am not the best at speaking among my family, and there are words that others would say. Alauneari, I believe the rest is for you."
Alauneari steps forth. She looks at the gnomes and embraces her hands up. Says, "Yes, I am Alauneari of House Vytharia, and as many of you know, these are my siblings. I am the matron of House Vytharia, and therefore it comes to me to stand as the high protector of this village. As my brother said, we're here to keep you safe. We'll be here forever. If not us directly, then our descendants. You will be safe in our care. But of course there are those among you who would seek to destroy this, would seek to do as Lord Gurney did, would seek to again bring death down upon you all for selfish reasons. Let them not have that chance. I implore upon you now that if you know of anyone, if you see anyone do something that goes against common sense and peace, then go to the Drow soldiers and tell them about this. It will be brought to me. I shall make sure that no more bloodshed happens because of fools. All of you can keep this city safe, can keep yourselves from losing any more family to senseless violence. I will listen to some of your concerns, but know that there's much that must be done. Rules might be changed, laws might appear, and I implore upon you all to follow them. Beyond that, our goal is to allow you to live your lives as you always have, doing your trade and continuing your existence. Give them a smile. Do not worry. If we all work together, we can keep Festival safe. Says. She then turns for a second and looking at the shadows of the spiders hanging out dwarves in the web, and she looks at them. Now, I implore you, if you have any information, any secrets that are kept, do tell the soldiers. If you know of anyone who would be a danger or a threat, do tell the soldiers. You will be remembered for helping us, keeping you safe. He says. She then nods to Tallinn as a meaning that this assembly is over for now.
All right. Sergeant Tallinn steps forth in front of the gathered. The overlords of Festival has spoken. Return to your homes, remain calm, and resume your work. He sort of, nods to the soldiers, who basically starts to usher people away from the square.
Those of you who have lost family and friends may gather them and bury them in the mushroom fields, for you did as was asked.
Yeah, a mumble of thanks and acquiescence from the crowd, and many of them sort of set out towards the gathered corpses to search through and see if they can find their dead. So the sergeant seems to have a few men posted around to keep it under observation.
Well, they also gestured for Tallinn to come up closer.
He will come closer.
Sergeant.
My lady.
I would like for you to as quickly as possible man whatever defenses this city has, and keep them manned. I'd like for there to be guard rotations and such. All the barracks should be taken in use, and appropriate sleeping quarters and such should be established as fast as possible. The carnage here has been done. We have now put them under our rule. Such order shall be restored. We would like to know what sort of storerooms the city has as well, especially in relation to wealth and food.
He nods. I shall do an inventory then, my lady.
And keep eyes on all exits of this village.
If there are any escapes, are they to be killed?
For now, simply tell them that they're not allowed to leave. If they attempt to force their way through, yes,
He nods. Very well. He looks at the gathered masses. Do you, if you pardon the question, my lady, would you think that can we really keep them under the boot like this? They seem... The speech was rousing. I do not mean to say otherwise, but I am worried.
And why would that be?
He sort of shifts. I am not sure, my lady. Forget I said anything. It is a feeling, nothing else.
Soldiers should feel uneasy. Take whatever precautions might be necessary. Make sure to confiscate any weapons and armor.
Understood.
Anyone attempting to keep such will, of course, be assumed to be part of resistance forces and dissents.
Of course. Shall we give them over to the spiders, or do the lords wish to do anything else with these troublemakers?
This city should have some sort of prison. For now, let's put them there until we decide upon what to do with them.
He nods. As you say then, my lady. He salutes to all of you. I shall be about my duties then.
There should be much to do.
He walks away.
When he returns to his siblings. She looks a little tired with all that's happened. So, she says in Elven, we have taken festivals.
So it appears.
Now the question is, what do we do with festivals?
I think the real question is what is going to happen next. I mean, the Baroness isn't just going to let us camp in here. I don't think she is. She probably knows by now that we are going to succeed from her spies that she has undoubtedly sent with the army. And do not call me paranoid. I think I'm right. I believe I'm right. I know I'm right, even.
The assumption that there will be spies is, of course, a sound one.
Rilinid, rolling his shoulders, says,
I do not think she is receiving immediate up-to-date information, however, given the extensive distance. I would say that whatever is among the forces in our army, presuming they're still alive, and I imagine anyone skilled enough would be, that they have their orders to follow through on, if such happens. As such, I believe our next objective is to weather the coming storm.
And watch our backs. I believe making sure that we don't get poisoned or similar would be a wise precaution.
Then, if you were not taking such precautions over the past century, I would doubt that you were my brother.
I mean, even more than usual. Of course.
The hope is that the gnomes for now will have seen enough bloodshed and not want to see any more. The hurts of all they have lost will hopefully keep them from attempting to fight us.
Indeed, for if they even got the inkling that all of them mobilized could chase us out, well... but they would.
They are not fighters, and unarmed and unequipped. Such a spectacle leads to sure death. We wish to, or at least I wish to, isolate them individually. Make sure that they do not know who they can trust and who they can't. If we can make a reward system for those who bring us useful information, that would perhaps be a good idea.
I certainly noticed as much, Manaki. I thought that was amusing. Oh, you were fucking with him.
If they don't know who they can trust, then organizing something is incredibly hard.
Right. As long as, more dwarves don't come seeking the mithril press, we'll be okay.
Well, they undoubtedly will.
That's right.
But here they will find a fortified, walled city,
That's right.
and they most likely will not have spiders.
Yeah. So that Rilinid rolls his shoulders.
Well, as much as I would love to stand around here and perhaps, looking towards the unconscious body of Arthur, fantasize about what I will do next, I have the fate of our little helper to discern. I'm going to search Fastivault for Ivy, if she is still alive. And perhaps, she managed to contribute in some fashion to that battle. I do not imagine that dwarf on the bridge died by his own hand. I would like to congratulate her and perhaps welcome her further into what good things she has done.
Very nice. Yes, I myself will go inspect the hall of the Lord. I believe we shall have it renamed. She turns to look at that direction.
Yeah. Good. All right.
All right, so let's see. Rilinid goes off to
Yep.
search for Ivy.
Yep. Shell, who of course will still be around and perhaps patched up a bit with some sort of a tincture or another, can carry Arthur Oathsworn with her.
Just drag him around.
We'll stick him someplace, like a special room in the Lord's the Hall of the Lord.
Can we take a look and see what actually is there?
Sure.
That's certainly something that you can inventory like the Welvyn, what have you. I would definitely say that obviously everyone has their own talents and skills and what they're interested in, but maybe not have the Trislin and Alauneari be alone. Of course, Trislin will never be alone because she has Sakari. But Alauneari is not exactly the best at handling a situation solo.
I will go ahead and go with Alauneari.
In that case, Sheep, you can do whatever sort of creepy, crazy ranger shit you'll do.
Oh yes.
Stalk around.
And just stalk around, just stare at everyone.
Yeah, well, Zyn still doesn't trust that sergeant of ours, so you would probably try to find out more about him.
Perhaps, you could, stealth and, try to, shadow him.
Yeah, exactly. Just see what he's up to, now that we've won.
Right. What are you looking into doing, Tina? Maybe finding Lord Gurney's candy store?
Well, that was kind of my...
The West for the lost candy treasure.
I'm going to the candy store.
So, Alauneari might be
insane, Drow.
So Alauneari might be
He's not
searching for gold.
insane,
You're
he
searching
just
for
has some
candy.
problems.
Alauneari doesn't search for gold. She has people for that. Right now, she's looking to redecorate and thinking about where she wants her bedroom to be, and how to make the throne larger and such.
You have a too pot.
I mean, squeezing more room in here. This will probably be where we exclusively live. A lot of gnomes seem to have lived here. That's not necessary anymore.
We can clear out the gnome populations.
Though those of you who go to the Hall of the Lord, you can place yourself on the map there.
Inspecting here. Maybe if there are a few drow soldiers sort of guarding the entrance or something.
You can certainly call for that if you wish.
Can you stick Shell from the darkness on the map and put her by the Hall of the Lord along with Arthur?
Yes, I can.
I've made a dwarf fortress.
Unfortunately, I can't. I can select her from the map explorer, but I can't move her from there.
What is that? In the Hall of the Lord, sort of in the back room? Like some
life-size chest
dot things.
What is that? Yes.
Let's go around and inspect, shall we, sister?
So I need to put him from the object.
Fireball traps.
Yes.
Why are they?
So we didn't learn about the traps and secrets of everything, so
I'm sure there are some, but we'll find them. For now, let's redecorate. Which room was Lord Gurney's room?
will burb while they're
I'm
going
thinking
on their
this one.
crazy exploration.
Yes, you do sort of start to shift through this.